all the unique characters.
I do let him bang. Yeah, I'm a legend, man. I'm building my legs.
All the stories and perspectives featured weekly.
I wasn't fully committed to that choke, and I kind of sunk into it, started squeezing tighter, and I kind of heard him gurgle a little bit. I was like, oh.
And all the combat sports you could ask for in the best state in the U.S.
Like I said, Ohio versus the world. It's going to happen for sure. Watch out.
It'll be cool, man. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to show them why the Ohio MMA scene is, in my opinion, one of the best MMA scenes in the country.
This is Forged in OH.
IO.
OH.
IO.
OH.
IO.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 105 of Forged in Ohio. My name is Jake Murren, and I'm the host of the podcast. You know, we're approaching the end of the year, which means promotions here in Ohio are putting on some incredible cards to end 2024 with a bang. One of them is Cage Thunder 29 Hall of Fame fights at the Canton Civic Center. And this fighter joining me today is coming off a big win at Cage Thunder 28, where he won his fourth fight in a row. Now he finally seeks to win his first amateur MMA championship against Luke McMurtry on December 21st at Cage Thunder 29. Making his second appearance on the show is Cody the Warrior Wilson. Thanks for coming back on the show, Cody, and welcome back to Forged in Ohio.
Hey, thanks for having me again. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, of course. I've been looking forward to getting you back on the show as well. And obviously, you've been incredibly impressive since the last time you were on. And that's kind of where I want to start. It was ahead of your Cage Thunder 28 fight night in the Flats, where you were originally booked in your first title fight. How disappointed were you when that fight kind of fell through? But thankfully, you were able to stay on the card just against a different opponent.
Yeah, I was definitely a little bummed because I knew the outcome was going to be the same. I was going to get the win no matter what. I mean, I'm glad my original opponent, his teammate, stepped up, and I'm definitely thankful he did because that experience was just something crazy. Just the atmosphere and the card itself, it was definitely something to be a part of. So definitely glad I got the win. Did exactly how I thought I would, and just I knew no matter what, even if the title wasn't that night, I knew it was going to come eventually. So patience is key.
So you went from fighting Elias Leonardo in a title setting to fighting Kevin Visser. Did that impact at all your motivation and even your preparation going into Cage Thunder 28 at the time?
No, I didn't really know about either one of the fighters. I knew they come from a good gym. Actually, I think Kevin was a little better of a fighter than Leonardo in my eyes, but I felt like it went really well and committed the same game plan I would have with either guy in front of me. So I think it went exactly how I planned.
And the key to the change in opponents, it was still booked as the United States versus Canada, which was an incredible selling point to this fight. And the crowd at Jacobs Pavilion certainly ate it up. How enjoyable was that from your perspective, being in that cage and hearing all those USA chants that night?
Yeah, it was amazing. I definitely played it off well. Bought him a Canadian hat, and then I wore a USA one for face-offs. Everyone thought that was real funny. They were good sports about it. And then you have a really good fan base here in Cleveland. It definitely showed. I definitely heard the chants while I was in the cage, and every time I watch the fight back, you just hear it, and it's always electric.
Yeah, that support for you that night was pretty overwhelming. I remember sitting right behind a large chunk of fans who were there for you. Overall, do you know how many people were in the crowd for you that night?
Oh, I have no clue. I know from the tickets I bought myself and distributed them, I had about 60 or so. And then I just had a bunch of other people that I didn't even know were coming that just showed up, and definitely helps me out even moving forward to my next fights and training. Like all the support I've been getting, that really fuels me. They even think you guys even said it while you guys were commentating. Like I get fueled by that stuff, and it definitely makes me a better fighter, I think.
What I found was interesting is that between rounds, you were able to play up to the crowd a little bit and acknowledge those who were there supporting you. And you do a great job of being in the moment, while other fighters they might not be able to focus on anything but the fight and their opponent. You know, they're super dialed in, but for you, that maybe wasn't the case. Does that just speak to your overall comfort inside the cage?
Yeah, that's just how I always am. I know some guys, they kind of like to go off on their own, listen to music. I like to go around, see friends and family, kind of not get myself out of the I'm about to fight in the cage type mode and really loosen myself up. Like that, I think that helps me out a lot. I like to be loose when I go in, and like even during, I like to acknowledge the people, and it's all for the sport. So I think it helps calm my mind a little bit. So I like to always be that way.
The performance itself at Cage Thunder 28, you were able to land a takedown in every single round. How happy are you with the body of work that you showed that night in the flats?
So I think fighting outside was definitely a different than I thought it would be. I know my first round, looking back, I think my first round was completely flawless. I did everything right. I think I did everything real well. Second round, it was still okay, but the third round, I think I could have done a lot better. I know I've been working on a lot of the striking. I think that's where I was lacking pretty well, but if I would have kept it going like the first round, I mean it was pretty crazy. But I know looking back, I mean, I saw the things that I could have did better, but then I see the things that I really capitalized on, and that helps me now.
That was your first time going to a decision through your 5 fights. Just how valuable of an experience is that, since you went 3 rounds in there with a tough opponent and showed some development in the striking like you were talking about?
Yeah, I felt like I opened up a lot more. When you have more time like that, you kind of can see where you need to be and definitely open up a little bit more. And I'm glad I'm able to see all these different aspects of the fight, like going one round or going all three and then letting the judges decide. I mean, I'm not going to try to keep doing that. I definitely want to not leave it to the judges, but I think it's good to see all that stuff so it's nothing new to you.
Maybe the atmosphere makes it number one, but where does the win at Cage Thunder 28 rank among your favorite fights through your career so far?
That has to, so we'll see if the Civic Center can top it. But as of right now, that one in Cleveland, by far one of my favorites. Favorite venue. I've never fought at the Civic Center, but definitely Jacob Pavilion was one to remember.
Talking with Cody the Warrior Wilson here on Forged in Ohio. So after the fight, you called out Luke McMurtry, who won on the same night, and I think that was a 10 out of 10 call out. It made sense, and you executed it great as well. And now you have that fight at the Canton Civic Center. Why was this the fight that you wanted next?
So to be honest, when there was when the fight was supposed to be a title with Leonardo, I kind of thought in my head like, oh, why isn't it not with Luke or one of these other guys that have a lot more fights? And then I learned about the rules of being eligible to be a championship fighter, and I was like, all right, well, then when that fell through, it kind of felt right at the time because it would feel more of an accomplishment if I take out a guy that was a ex-champion at the division and doing real well, good record. It would mean a lot more a win through him than a win from someone that's just barely eligible to fight for a title. So I think it'll definitely help and feel like I actually deserve it with a win.
Yeah, this is such a great matchup, and I have so much respect for both of you. Luke McMurtry is a former Cage Thunder featherweight champion with 3 more fights of experience than you. Overall, just what do you think of your opponent at Cage Thunder 29?
So I know me and him, we show nothing but respect. I think he really respects my game. I respect his. I know I've seen a couple things where he talks about the flaws of my fight game. I'm definitely, I think I'm fixing all those. So it'll be like I'm a new fighter coming out here in 29. So I'm definitely looking forward to showing everybody that I've really been putting in the work and I have the ethic to do so. And it's going to be like I'm a whole new fighter. So 2025 is going to be insane also. I can already picture it now.
Man, I can't wait. A whole new version of Cody Wilson, and the Cody Wilson that we all know and love has already rattled off 4 wins in a row. And so at Cage Thunder 28, I'm not sure if you've watched it or anything, but what do you think of Luke's performance at that event where his opponent couldn't answer the bell in the 3rd round? I believe that was 2 fights before yours.
Yeah, so I didn't really watch it too much. I know I plan to here in the next couple weeks. And actually, me and Denzel have talked. We met each other at another Cage Thunder event, and me and him got really cool. We were talking. He just said he he knows he could have did better. He wasn't saying it was from anything, but I mean, I thought Luke did really well. He played his game like he usually does in the other fights I've watched, and he did his thing. And now it's time to see if he can do the same thing against a guy that is probably the same style as him, maybe a little stronger. And maybe I don't have the experience he did, but I know I'm ready to go, and I'm really hard to finish. So looking forward to seeing what he has to bring.
You mentioned something there that you guys have similar styles, but perhaps you're a little stronger. Do you think that's going to be a key element in this fight, is that your strength is going to prevail in some of those scenarios where you guys both are comfortable on the ground and going after those takedowns?
Yeah, I'm thinking so, because any fight I've been in, when I'm on the ground, I always hear you commentators saying it just looks so comfortable, and I am. I train with some of the best guys every day. I'm put in these positions, and I'm going to get out. I'm going to use my strength. I'm going to get up, or I'm going to capitalize on a submission or really get in a better position and do my damage. So I really think I got the upper hand in any position on the ground. And then now with the striking game getting so much better, there's really no aspect I don't see myself being on top.
Yeah, and I think this fight could come down to who the better wrestler is, and it sounds like if that's the case, you're confident that you're going to be the one with your hand raised that night if it does come down to who the better wrestler is, given your strength and your comfort in those realms.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to who's the all-around best fighter and really wants the championship. And I've been showing it all year that it's my time. I'm ready to go. I'm not taking any time off. This will be my 5th fight of the year, and I'm not stopping.
So Luke snapped a 2-fight losing streak that night at Cage Thunder 28. Are there things that you can pick up from those only 2 losses in his career that you can maybe use to your advantage on December 21st?
Yeah, so one big thing is last year, the same time, that's when he lost his title, and now he's trying to redeem himself, and I'm sure it's a lot weighing on him. So, I mean, I know some guys can get in their head about stuff like that, and especially against a good opponent. And being in your hometown, I know that brings a lot of pressure. So, I mean, it depends how you use it. You either use it to your advantage or you let it take over you. And my advice to him is just don't let it take over, because I'm definitely coming to show out in front of that crowd, because I'm from Akron anyway, right from Canton. So it's pretty much my hometown also. So I'm ready to make a statement like I'm fighting in front of everybody that knows me and I grew up with. So.
Yeah, are you expecting another great turnout for the Civic Center on the 21st?
Yeah, I have so many people hitting me up for tickets. I'm sure people are going to start buying a little more, maybe closer to, but I have a lot of people asking, and I'm just going to keep promoting it and seeing what I can do to get a big crowd there and get some more chants like we did over at Jacobs. It was definitely something to hear.
So you have 2 submission wins, while Luke's only losses have come via rear naked choke. Is that something that you're aware of, that a submission, once the fight probably inevitably gets to the ground here, might come available to you?
Yeah, my little brother, he's a Tapology guy. He's looking at everything, analyzing it all, and he brought that up to me too before I even knew. And I'm not really much to go for the neck, but I mean, if the opportunity is there and it presents itself, I'm gonna have it. So
it's pretty clear, talking to you and then also talking to Luke in the past, as I have, that you guys do have a lot of respect for each other, and you just said that as well. Is that a setting that you thrive in? Because I've talked to a lot of fighters where they like fighting guys they respect. It brings the best out of them, whereas other guys, they need some, bad blood there to actually get amped up and prepared for a fight.
yeah, no, I never need bad, but I mean, it's end of the day, we're just there to show that we're the best. I mean, I don't have to hate the guy I'm going in front of. Just if you sign the contract and go in front of me when the cage is locked, then we're not friends anymore. But before, after, all different. But during, it's a whole different story. But I mean, I've been cool with, I think, everybody I've fought since. Like, they've hit me up to this day, talked to them, they want to train. Like, so definitely don't need any bad blood.
Once again, this is Cody the Warrior Wilson here on Forged in Ohio. I believe I asked you this last time, but perhaps now with a different perspective. what does it mean to you compete? What does it mean to you to compete for your first amateur MMA championship?
It just shows all the work I put in this year. And I know my first fight didn't go the way I wanted to, but this shows that me putting the time and the years in to really do what I knew I could do, and then putting all the time in this year, like I think I really proved that I want to be the champion, and I don't think anything's going to stop me.
If I told the Cody Wilson who had lost his amateur debut over 9 years ago that he would make a return, that he would win 4 straight, including one at Jacobs Pavilion, and now he would be in a position to win a title at the Canton Civic Center, would that version of Cody Wilson have believed me all back then?
So I've always been this mentality, this work ethic, but back then I wouldn't have thought anything of this. But back in February on my first fight, if you would have asked me, I would have said, hell yes. I think I talked to a couple of guys that first fight in February, and I was like, hey, I'll see you one day. I'll fight you for the championship or something like that. And I just knew from this start of the year on that this is what I was coming for, and I made it in the light. So right now I'm doing everything I plan to.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible strength and motivation to carry you through what's been a very busy 2024. Did you ever waver? Because I know the life of a mixed martial artist isn't easy, especially at the amateur level when you're working on top of that and what you do to your body and how diligent you have to be in this game. Did you ever waver, or have you always been on that path and motivated that, hey, I'm going to have a great year and likely end it with an amateur title too?
Yeah, sometimes life gets in the way. I mean, I do run my own company. Training sometimes does get a little rough on the body, but I just do all I can. Really take the time to make sure I do body recovery and keep my head straight and really get myself ready for anything that comes. So definitely been taking the time and doing all I can. Ice baths, really icing up, taking time in between. Like if we train real hard during the week and I need a day or two, like I won't be scared to be like, hey, I need a break, need to let my body rest a little bit so then I can be 100% next day. So
last time you were on the show, you talked about being able to visualize what happens in your fights, and most of the time they do end up coming to fruition. Do you have a sense of how this title fight against Luke McMurtry is going to go?
I haven't really thought about that in this fight too much. I've just been working a lot on the striking, and I just know if I'm taking on the ground, I'm going to do what I do every fight and be comfortable, but I'm really trying to show a new version of myself, and that's what I plan to keep doing. Like when I'm training and sparring with my guys, I'm finding new sides of me that I didn't even know I could show. So that's really my plan going in. Just don't forget everything I've been working on the last few months and really use it to my advantage, and then show myself in a new way.
Is there any doubt in your mind that you'll be going home on the 21st with that Cage Thunder Featherweight Championship?
No doubt in my mind. I've known since February that it was going to happen. So I'm putting in the work to achieve it. So I'm ready.
All right. I love to hear the confidence, man. Before we wrap up, if you want to shout out anything here at the back end of the show, the floor is yours, man.
No, I just want to shout out to Strong Style. They've really been in my corner ever since I started over there, just doing jiu-jitsu, taking my own fights. But they've really shown great interest in me. A lot of gyms have, but I always had the same family over there for the last couple of years, and they've really been sharpening the tools for me. So definitely want to thank them and all the team and everyone that's really putting the time and effort into me and telling me how much they know. They see me being the champ. So I got a good team, and I'm definitely thankful for it. And good family support system, good friends. So, and then you guys as well. Like the Cage Thunder has always been such a great promotion, one of the best I've worked with. So definitely appreciate that too, and how you guys treat your fighters. So.
All right, man. Well, thanks again, Cody, for coming on the show ahead of your highly anticipated title fight here in a few weeks. You likely remember from the last time you were on the show that I like to end these episodes with the OHIO chant. So, OH.
IO.
Thanks, Cody. I appreciate the time. Best of luck on December 21st, and I can't wait to be on the call for this exciting title fight.
For sure, man. Thank you so much for having me.
That was Cody the Warrior Wilson, the 4-1 amateur mixed martial artist. He was looking to become an amateur champion in the sport in just 19 days. I don't know about you, but I cannot wait for this title fight. I'm torn because I like both guys so much. Luke's been on the show 4 times, with Cody now making his second appearance on the podcast. So let me know who you're taking in this one on social media. Feel free to message the show on Instagram and Facebook at Forged in Ohio. And to further support the show, you can download episodes wherever you listen to podcasts or subscribe to the Forged in Ohio YouTube channel. While you're there, like the videos you're watching and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Thank you all for watching or tuning in. I've been your host, Jake Murren, and this was Forged in Ohio.